Themes and scenes which may not be suitable for very young audiences. Parental guidance is advised.
We're working to connect a region of over 600 million bridges between our lands.
Hello and welcome to ASEAN in Focus. I'm Maricar Velasco delivering to you the latest news in and around the ASEAN region. On today's headlines, Indonesia is investigating reports that 31 construction workers were shot dead by separatist rebels in West Papua province. The Public Works Minister said Tuesday as he halted construction in the area. 3 people were killed and 24 injured Tuesday when a powerful explosion rocked a shopping mall in the Malaysian state of Sarawak, but a fire official said it was not caused by a bomb. And rising global tensions and a stronger U.S. dollar pose asset quality and profitability challenges for Singapore's banks, particularly for those based in Greater China, according to a report by Fitch Ratings. Indonesia is investigating reports that 31 construction workers were shot dead by separatist rebels in West Papua province, the Public Works Minister said Tuesday as he halted construction in the area. If the killings are confirmed, they would mark the deadliest bout of violence in years to hit the region, which has long been at the center of a low-level independence insurgency. The employees of state-owned contractor Istaka Karya were building bridges and roads as part of efforts to boost infrastructures in the impoverished region. Citing a local police officer, Indonesian media reported late Monday that the workers were shot dead on Sunday in Nduga, a district in the center of the far-flung region on the western half of New Guinea Island just north of Australia. The alleged killings were reportedly carried out by rebels who have led a decades-long insurgency against Jakarta's rule. Indonesia routinely blames separatists for violence in Papua. Some workers reportedly managed to escape the shootings, which were allegedly sparked by separatists angry at some workers who were taking pictures of a pro-Papua independence activity. Foreign media needs permission to report from Papua, and obtaining reliable information is difficult.
Yang diperkirakan 31 karyawan PT Astana yang terjadi di distrik Yang dan Kali Mugi, sehingga sudah rapat dari hari Senin kemarin sampai hari ini kita sudah pada prinsipnya siap segala-galanya untuk melaksanakan evakuasi para korban-korban dari distrik Yau ke Wamena. Ini cukup jauh. Jadi karena kita masyarakat tadi juga diinformasikan bahwa mereka ini sudah bergabung dengan masyarakat yang ada di Mbua dan Mugi, sehingga kita perlu hati-hati dalam tindakan. Dan pasukan kita sudah ada di atas.
An Indonesian soldier was killed while investigating reports that more than 24 construction workers were shot dead by separatist rebels in West Papua province, as officials say Tuesday. A team of about 150 personnel would delay its operation until Wednesday morning, fearing a confrontation with rebels at night, the military said later Tuesday. 4 workers, including 3 suffering gunshot wounds, were among 12 civilians evacuated from MBUA district about 6 p.m. Tuesday, the Indonesian military said.
Karyawan Istana Karya luka tembak di kaki kiri, kemudian Susianto luka tembak di pelipis kiri, Irawan itu karyawan Telkomsel, kemudian Don itu petugas kesehatan di kem-kem karyawan itulah. Untuk karyawan sebagian ada yang mampu melepaskan diri dari celana dan penjagaan, termasuk yang satu lagi satuan dari ada satuan kita yang mendahului datang menggunakan heli, itu sudah menduduki pos sana ya, dan mereka lari. Nah, cuma yang menghadang kita di jalan di ketinggian ini yang menembak kelompok kita yang bergerak ke sana.
Itu 2 kali kita ditembaki oleh mereka.
3 people were killed and 24 injured Tuesday when a powerful explosion rocked the shopping mall in the Malaysian state of Sarawak, but a fire official said it was not caused by a bomb. The official Bernama news agency said the blast could have been caused by a leaking gas tank. Wan Abdul Mubin, head of the fire rescue department in the state capital Kuching, told media his office received an emergency call at around 7:37. He says they scrambled 39 officers to the scene. They are investigating the cause of the explosion, as it is one of the worst tragedies in the state in years, but it is not a bomb. He added they recovered the bodies of 3 men and they have helped in the evacuation of 24 people injured to the nearby public hospital. Wan Abdul said the explosion happened near a store on the ground floor of the shopping mall that was undergoing renovation. A video clip of the aftermath showed the facade of the store torn apart, with some people screaming for help. Wina Simeon, 46, who was sitting near the store with her family members, said the explosion caused their table to flip. A boat carrying 20 men believed to be Rohingya migrants landed in Indonesia Tuesday. Authorities said the latest group of the vulnerable Myanmar minority to reach the world's biggest Muslim majority nation. They arrived in Aceh province on Sumatra Island in a rickety wooden boat, according to a local official who said he thought the men were the persecuted Muslim Rohingya. It is not known where the group, aged between around 20 to 40, set off from. However, in recent weeks, authorities in both Myanmar and Bangladesh, where around 1 million of the Muslim refugees are living in camps, have stopped boats of fleeing Rohingya migrants headed mainly for Malaysia. It has been rare for Rohingya migrants to attempt the sea routes south since Thai authorities clamped down on regional trafficking networks in 2015, sparking a crisis across Southeast Asia as large numbers were abandoned at sea. Former First Lady Imelda Marcos on Wednesday, December 5, posted bail for her temporary liberty after the Sandigan Bayan ruled she could avail of remedies following her conviction for graft. It was Marcos's lawyer who posted the 300,000 peso bail on her behalf. The amount was double the initial bail the anti-graft court set for her temporary liberty, pending the resolution of her motion to avail of post-conviction remedies. With the grant of the motion, Marcos has 15 days to either go to the Supreme Court or file a motion for reconsideration before the Sandigan Bayan. Even before her motion was resolved, though, Marcos already filed a notice of appeal before the Sandigan Bayan, asking it to forward her case records to the Supreme Court for further proceedings. Marcos was convicted of 7 counts of graft in connection with the setting up of foundations in Switzerland while she was a member of then President Ferdinand Marcos's administration, where her family allegedly had pecuniary interests.
When visiting the Philippines, Manila or Quezon City is a popular destination. But oftentimes the hustle and bustle of the city can be more stressful on your vacation. So when you feel the need to reconnect to nature or relax again, there's a beautiful oasis just outside of the city called the Garden at Ciudad de Victoria. you can see here include hydrangea, snapdragon, and stargazers. They're truly beautiful. The gardens at Ciudad de Victoria are so peaceful, tranquil, and beautiful that it's become a haven for young couples and a very popular venue for engagement photos. The next time you want an escape from the big city, the garden at Ciudad de Victoria is a wonderful place to visit.
Welcome back. The palace on Tuesday, December 4, appeared to shoot down the idea of physically going to areas being claimed by China in the West Philippine Sea to check if there are indeed weather stations there. Presidential spokesperson Salvador Panelo said in the first place, they may have some problems there. They may even provoke something that the nation doesn't want. He adds they claim that it's theirs, but the arbitral ruling says it's the Philippines. Meanwhile, nobody seems to want to enforce it. That is precisely why the government is using the mechanism of diplomacy and negotiation, referring to the 2016 decision of the Permanent Court of Arbitration that invalidated China's excessive claims in the West Philippine Sea. President Rodrigo Duterte has opted for a diplomatic approach to the dispute in the West Philippine Sea, setting aside for the meantime the decision. Last month, the South China Post said China had set up weather stations on Subi Reef, Cagitingan Reef, and Panganiban Reef in the West Philippine Sea. Inflation, or the increase in prices of goods and services for November, slowed down to 6%, according to the latest data from the Philippine Statistics Authority. This was much lower than October's 6.7% and was within the lower end of the projection of the Bangko Sentral for inflation between 5.8% and 6.6%. It is also lower than the 6.3% forecast of the Department of Finance. According to the PSA, the slowdown in the rise of prices was noted in food, non-alcoholic beverages, and in water, gas, electricity, and fuel rates, among others. The report says slowdowns in the annual increases were noted in the indices of food and non-alcoholic beverages at 8.0%, housing, water, electricity, gas, and other fuels 4.2%, and communication 0.4%. But the PSA said that apart from selected food and energy items, core inflation continued to move upward as it settled to 5.1% in November 2018. In October of 2018, core inflation was recorded at 4.9%, and in November 2017, 2.4%. The 6% inflation rate this November was, however, still much higher than November 2017 inflation of 3%. In Metro Manila, inflation was even lower at 5.6% in November. Likewise, in areas outside Metro Manila, the inflation for November slowed down to 6.2%. In October, it was recorded at 6.8%. Rising global tensions and a stronger U.S. dollar pose asset quality and profitability challenges for Singapore's banks, particularly for those based in Greater China, according to a report by Fitch Ratings. Further local rate increases are likely based on the direction of the U.S. Fed funds rates, which will increase pressure on bank assets quality, especially their small and medium enterprise books, the report noted. However, the impact is unlikely to be broad-based, given Singapore's history of robust underwriting standards and macro-prudential measures in the past years. A Fitch analyst said they believe Singaporean authorities will maintain their proactive approach to macro-prudential regulation by introducing further measures in the event of resurgence in real estate investments. It said that recently introduced measures have instilled greater discipline amongst property developers in their pursuit of more development land parcels. Whilst the growth and earnings of Singaporean banks in Greater China is projected to face stronger headwinds, the direct impact on banks' asset quality may be modest at most, according to the analyst. The analyst adds challenges also stem the effects from slowing China growth on Singapore and other economies in the region where the banks are also exposed. After factoring in the rising headwinds to Asia's economy, Fitch revised its sector outlook to negative from stable. However, the firm said it believes that there is still sufficient headroom for its ratings to withstand the potential economic challenges given the strong credit profiles of Singapore's banks.
Bago matapos ang taong 2018, sabay-sabay tayong magbabalik tanaw sa mga pangyayaring nagpakaba. Nagbigay pag-asa at naghatid ng saya.
Nasunog ito. Butit na lang na punta ako doon sa derma na she's very good. Kasi yung ginamit ko kasi, yung sa asawa ko, cream lang yan. 1. Sabunan mo. Sige. 2. Mahapli na. 3. Gano'n. 4. 5. Tapos meron pa yung maliit. Tingin ko, bakit nangitim ako lalo?
Sa loob ng isang taong pagmamatiyag ng mata ng agila, Pilipinas 2018, ang year-end report ng Eagle News Service. Ihahatid ng pinagbuklod na puwersa ng Net25, eaglenews.ph, eaglenewslive.com at ng Radyo Agila. Pilipinas 2018, abangan!
Pet News, Linggo, alas 4 hanggang alas 5 ng hapon.
Welcome back. A refugee footballer from Bahrain has been detained for another 12 days in Thailand, an immigration official said Tuesday, as a rights group decried the tug-of-war over his fate. Hakim Al-Araibi, a former player for Bahrain's national side, was stopped on an Interpol red notice after arriving in Thailand from Australia on November 27 for a vacation with his wife. The 25-year-old was granted refugee status in Australia in 2017 and has spoken out about being arrested and beaten at the start of Arab Spring protests in the Gulf state in 2012. He was convicted in absentia on charges of vandalizing a police station, but said he was out of the country playing in a match at the time of the alleged offense. Thailand's immigration chief Surachate Hakparn told media Al-Araibi had been remanded for 12 days starting December 3 to give authorities time to examine documents submitted by Bahrain. The Australian ambassador told him Canberra wants to get the footballer back, Surachate said. If there is proof that the arrest warrant is invalid, then immigration will repatriate him to Australia. The Bahrain embassy in Bangkok did not immediately respond to requests for comment. Al-Araibi told media in an interview Tuesday he believes Bahrain is very angry with him for interviews he gave in 2016 with mainstream media outlets about his treatment in custody. And that is the latest news in the Southeast Asian nations. Stay updated about the ASEAN region. I'm Monica Velasco and I am 1 with 25.